The night he came to our village. We always thought we knew what danger sounded like. When pillagers came, there were horns, shouting, footsteps, fire. You could hear it all before you saw it. That night was different. It started with a sound none of us recognized. Not an alarm, not a horn, just wood breaking. One house, then another. I remember stepping outside and seeing sparks drifting through the air like orange fireflies. The sky was grey with smoke. 2 rooftops were already burning, and nobody knew why. At first, we thought it was a raid. We thought they'd come back. People were running through the paths between the houses, screaming, grabbing children, trying to get to the bell. But no one rang it. No one wanted to make noise, because whatever was out there, it wasn't loud. That was the first thing I noticed. No shouting, no war cries, no laughing, just the sound of blocks being torn apart, one after another, like the village itself was being taken apart by something that didn't care who was inside. Then I saw Harren, the farmer from the wheat field, stumble into the road with blood on his robe. He opened his mouth to speak, but before he could say anything, something hit the ground beside him. An axe. It had been thrown from somewhere in the dark. He froze. We all did. And then I saw him. At first, I thought he was just a shadow between the flames, a shape moving through the smoke. But then he stepped into the light. A man. Just one man. Blue shirt, dark trousers, square face, empty eyes. He wasn't running, he wasn't yelling, he wasn't even angry. He just walked. That was the worst part. He moved through our village like he had every right to be there, like the houses were his, like the fields were his, like we were his. One of the blacksmiths tried to run. The man looked at him for half a second, pulled something from nowhere, and struck him down before anyone could scream. Then he kept walking. I remember thinking, that's not possible. Not one man could carry all that iron, all that wood, all those tools. Not one man could tear down a door with his bare hands and still look calm. But the old librarian had once whispered about someone like him. Not a pillager, not a monster, something worse. A man from outside the world. A man who came and took what he wanted. A man some villagers only spoke about in low voices, because saying his name too loudly was supposed to bring him closer. Steve. I used to think that was just a story told to scare children into staying indoors at night. It wasn't. He went house to house, dragging villagers out into the road. The ones who fought were hit. The ones who ran didn't get far. The ones who cried were ignored. He looked at each of us the same way you'd look at crops or animals, not with hatred, with use. By the morning, the fires were dying and the village was quiet. Not peaceful quiet, empty quiet. He had already started building fences, walls, small wooden enclosures just big enough to hold one villager at a time. Some of us were shoved inside and sealed in. Others were tied near the square, and a few were taken somewhere underground. I never saw them again. When he reached for me, I couldn't move. He stood there for a moment, staring at me like he was deciding what I was worth. Then he grabbed my arm and dragged me across the path towards one of the pens. I remember looking back at the village, at the burnt roofs, at the broken bell. at the bodies in the road, at the people I'd known my entire life, now locked behind fences like livestock. And that was the moment I understood. This wasn't Raid's end. This was something else. This was ownership. And the worst part was, Steve wasn't there to destroy our village. He was there to keep what was left of it.